Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to yell to see my audio. Anyway. Thank you for joining us once again. Come on in. Welcome back. You're just in time for our exciting installment of everyone's favorite YouTube sensation. It's Getting By with the Angry Guy. I, of course, am your host, Angry Allen, and this is my video weblog I started in 2015 when I moved from Massachusetts to Arizona. It's where me keep in touch with people back home, let them know I'm doing okay, give them a chance to get by with me once in a while, and keep everyone abreast of the situation as I want to do. Now, here we are at the top of the program. Usually I'll pontificate a little bit about how long it's been since the previous episode. In this case, like 10 months, like almost 11 months, right? So that's almost a year. In that episode, we talked about Beans the cat. And yeah, I go back and look at my shit sometimes. I'll look at that last episode and be like, is there anything I can provide an update on? Is there anything that continues onwards? And I mean, that's me and my episodic mindset. Like, it's the real world and it's a video weblog. It's not supposed to be a serialization of anything. But anyway, Beans still around. I can't believe it's been almost a year since Beans came into our world. That's astounding. The previous episodes of that I recognized by the cool title, which is Series Finale ? Because I had been threatened over the internet, which of course, you know, people get threatened over the internet. But also, sometimes people get hurt after they've been threatened on the internet. So I just made a cautionary episode about, hey guys, if I mysteriously disappear or cease to be, let's look into Nazis, because I seem to have upset some people by saying the word Nazis. And that's on my list. I have a very long list today. We got a Black Death edition of the show, so it's not going to be the most rambunctious, uplifting, whatever adjectives. And the NRVs is on here. So first, in the spirit of this being a video weblog, and God, video web, someone needs to shorten that word. Finally, for us all, please. First thing on the list, I went to a nudist colony this year. Not colony, resort, a nudist resort. So that's like a hotel, spa, theme park for adults. And I may have gone on a head full of mushrooms. I don't know, guys. Should I be doing? I just turned 37 years old this month, and here I am, blatherskites on the YouTube to whosoever. Anyway, man, it gets worse, so fucking whatever. But I did that. It was terrifying, of course, but also very liberating. And it was very much like, I wish there were more places like this. I wish this was more acceptable, et cetera, et cetera. And it was very nice. We also, Ari and I, and my wife, we went on the camping weekend. We went out to, the name escapes me. Anyway, we had a very nice time. Roper Lake State Park. Sabbath. It's not Sabbath. Some other 2-syllable town with an S in the name somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember for some reason. I can't remember for some reason. I'm trying to stall for time while I still think in the background of my brain what the name of this town was, because I'd rather not have that blank spot, but it's okay. I really thought I had it that time. I don't know, guys. Oh, so that I've also restated my intentions to learn to fly. This was actually a big 2020 thing for me. As we were on the cusp of 2020, I was like, yo, that's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I think I might. I mean, I know, based on some of the research I've done, it's not at least to get your private pilot's license. It's not a big school thing, and it certainly wouldn't be like, taking thousands of dollars in loans to do it. I could even do it piecemeal, like save up over time, or not save up over time, pay it over time. Like pay per lesson is the idea. We just have to pay for the instructor and for the fuel for the plane, and whatever. If I need to rent the, I don't think I need to rent the plane, but and that's what I'm saying though. If you pay per class as you go, probably I could probably work it out. But and then I have to space it out, do like one class a month. I'll learn how to fly by the time I'm 50. But that's all right, because I definitely want to know how to fly by the time I'm 50. Right? And I'm fucking close, man. 13 years from now, I'll be 50. I'm jumping right over 40, bro. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, our next most exciting for me story is, unfortunately, I'll again have to name check the Joe Rogan podcast as the place where I was introduced to this idea. And if you're familiar with your boy, you probably know where I'm going. Keeping in mind that the Sober October gimmick has already been fully accredited to the Joe Rogan podcast. I do that. I'll probably do it this year. And I learned of that gimmick and stole it from the Joe Rogan podcast. Guilty. Okay. And like I said in the last episode, I don't really listen to that podcast anymore. And it's even less fashionable these days. But it doesn't make me less of a previous listener. I definitely listened to a bunch of episodes of that show. That's perfect. But DMT, man, that's what I'm talking about. Dimethyltryptamine. DMT. You don't have to understand the full name of the chemical compound to never quite feel comfortable in your reality ever again. I'm just kidding. I'm overdoing it. I don't think I had what is called a breakthrough on my DMT. I did have a stupendous visual hallucination that lasted somewhere in the realm of 5 to 10 minutes, probably closer to 5, but so stark. Like, I've been on hallucinogens before, and mostly just kind of fuzzes the lines between reality and question marks. I had a great trip last year on mushrooms on Halloween, and we haven't done an episode since then. But really, I should have. This should be a mental health video podcast based on hallucinogenic experimentations. I actually be interested to go back and see like the earliest incarnations of this program and how things have changed for me, man. I know I'm kind of wearing a mask here. I present this as a video weblog, but then like we've addressed in this episode, I see it as a show. This is a performance. Like I'm here because I can't fucking stop. Actually, this is a great segue. So my DMT experience, I'll break that down real quick because it was very simple. Incredibly complex and inorganic and seemingly guided by another hand. And I was wearing a blindfold. I took my third hit because we were doing the vape pen. So we didn't do an ayahuasca experience. This is just a straight up, USA, cut to the chase, hit me with your best shot. And I also learned this past weekend that allegedly, apparently from this one source, that the psilocybin in your mushrooms, I don't know, but becomes or releases DMT at the peak of the mushroom trip. So that's why there's like such a distinct similarity there. But anyway, man, so my entire field of vision, is blacked out. But I see this thing kind of coming in like from one of the top, actually it was this corner. No, that was right. Right. And it's not like it's a hand or anything, but it's just like several like different specks kind of shit. And I get this sensation that it's like, like a scanner tool. It's like on me, it's checking me out. And I got this feeling of like, there was this, they knew of my intentions. I'm already there, man. Like immediately though, seriously, like this overwhelming sensation of just being inspected by this thing. And then like I felt this tremendous heat all over my body. And then the device kind of faded back and it became like a field of symbols, different colorful, I want to say like almost like an alphabet, like symbols. Like I didn't recognize them. And colors, lots of colors, bright colors, stark bright colors with crisp, defined symbols. And they started to work into each other, and then they broke down into like what looked like to me like a very complex network of bundled wires, which is a recurring thing for me when I'm tripping because I work with wires. But don't tell my boss about the tripping on mushrooms part. So the overwhelming sensation that I got was first like that I was being inspected, right? But it was an unbelievable sensation that I was being presented information from outside of myself. Like when I'm saying there was this field of different colors, and it eventually turned into the box of wire, right? But it's like, here's that field, and then it was like there was a layer behind that, and then there was a layer behind that, and that was like being held from off screen. You know what I mean? Like something was like, hey, check this out. Like that's how it felt. And the message that I was receiving was like, yo, look at this. You kind of understand what's going on here. Like, you know what wires are. But holy shit, this is a big fucking mess, right? But then as I was watching it, they would start to like come apart, and then they would reshape into different formations. And the message that I received was, even though, and now I'm getting a little woo-woo here, but, everything's working the way it's supposed to. And even though I can't understand it, like, check it out. They're showing me. They're like, look, here it is. Like, here's this part here. We plug this in here. Here's this part here. We plug this in here. And we know how to do it. You don't have to worry about it. And so that was real. That was a nice relief. And again, I don't feel like I had a breakthrough experience. I don't feel like I was teleported to another dimension. I was aware that I was in my living room. I could hear myself breathing. I could feel my skin. I could feel my whole body getting warm. And, but I had an intense visual hallucination. So 10 thumbs up on the visual hallucination. Next time, if there is one, which I didn't have a bad experience, so I'm not saying no because of that. It's one of the opposite things where I don't want to corrupt my reality. So maybe in a year or two, who knows? But I'll do that without a blindfold on next time. So, okay, guys. So we got a couple of heavy issues here. I'm running a little late already on the episode. I wanted to be done like 10 minutes ago. But you know how it goes. So I have not fulfilled my obligations for 2 wrestling shows in a row. I agreed to show up and didn't. Twice. And I don't feel good about it. And I'm putting it here in the live version of the Getting By because I'm just so fucked up. And I'm also fine. Like, we've just sat here for fucking 13 minutes. We've laughed. We've had so much fun. I am responsible for my choices. Okay? So I am responsible for making the choice to not fulfill these obligations. And I won't make any excuses for it, but I will tell you, I don't think very highly of myself. And that goes almost doubly in the professional wrestling, where I love saying professional wrestling and being a pro wrestler. I've spent my 30s as a professional wrestler, and it's been so much fun. I've made friends. I've sold t-shirts. I've visited places. Safford, Arizona. That's where we went. Ari and I, not the wrestling. I never went to Safford for wrestling. I went to Coolidge. I wrestled in the middle of Main Street in Coolidge. I went to YUMA a couple times. One time I went to YUMA. That's another legend of the angry guy. And of course, I came out here. I moved from Massachusetts to Arizona, and I went for it. I plugged myself in. I was shaking hands and kissing babies. I was doing jobs and not using gimmicks for months and months and having fun still. Yes, and I'd really like to help the wrestling community here in Tucson so that selfishly I can get what I want out of wrestling. You know what I mean? And you guys back on the East Coast and Rhode Island and Massachusetts, you mill wrestling, cherish it. Fucking cherish it, you guys. And I know I said that 4 or 5 years ago when I went back and there was no chop shop, and it was like, no, we do. But if we had a chop shop out here, you guys. And so at this point in the program, if anyone has a fucking modicum of business sense or any experience in renting commercial spaces, and they can throw a little info my way, I'd appreciate it, because I really don't know where to start. I am the least entrepreneurial person you've probably ever met. I don't want money as much as I want the stuff that money gets. So that's why I never have money. If I have money, I'll spend it so that I can enjoy it. Because fuck money, it's not even real. It's not even real, and you can't take it with you. So what are we fighting over? Looking at you, Afghanistan. Too soon. Too soon. Hey, what are we fighting over? That segues nicely to my final topic for today. And right on time, as we're inching towards that 20-minute mark, you know I want to shut the fuck up, right? You know I don't want to be on this program, right? You know I don't want to, every 10 months or so he's going to come out and smoke a little bit of resin and then tell people how he's okay and maybe how he's not fully okay, but he's going to bury that in the middle of the episode and then move on. Yeah. Because I've also, actually, this is my video weblog, I have been intending to seek counseling. Now, I don't want to burden anybody that I know with this information, but I do want to vent briefly. And for those of you who have already crossed the threshold into your mental health care plans or whatever, like this may sound somewhat familiar to you. Whatever. So I'm starting at ground zero. This is not the last topic. Ground zero, I talked to my school therapist in like elementary school. We're talking about when I was 8 to 10. That doesn't count. That's certainly not outside of public school system, dude. Like I've never gone to a therapist, counselor, psychologist, what's the other one, psychiatrist. And truth be told, I don't know exactly the difference between all these terms, but I know it seems like it would be a good investment of my time to sit in a room with someone whose job it is to listen. Dear viewers. But so I'm calling places and I'm like, yeah, hi, I would, specifically, I guess this is kind of a rant on a local hospital. Anyway, so I'm calling and I'm like, first of all, I'm looking up doctors on the internet, right? Right. I find the phone number, I click on the phone number, using my phone, click the phone number, call the number. Yeah, hi, can I speak to, or I'm like, yes, because I assume that's the office. Like, yeah, I'd like to schedule an appointment for counseling therapy because I'm intending to do that. I've never done that before. I'll be a first-time patient. And so any cooperation would be greatly appreciated. And I was like, oh, well, you have the wrong number. Like, let me patch you through the right number. And that happens 3 or 4 times. And then it's an answering machine, and I call it. And then they get back to me like weeks later. And they're like, oh, actually, we're only doing medicine management right now. And it's like, it's just so inexplicably difficult for me. Like, asking for help, right? Obviously, a lot of people have trouble asking for help in the first place. I just think that when it comes to mental health, we really need to get our ducks in a row. We can't have phone numbers for mental health care that don't lead there because it's incredibly stressful. Kind of writes itself, guys. So anyway, stay good out there. We're all doing our best, right? Like that. Seal it in. So anyways, our last topic for discussion today, what else could it be? If you're playing Angry Allen Bingo at home, what's the last fucking space? Actually, did I already spoil it? I think I might have. That's right, folks. Here we are again on our first day in being a person class. First day, first lesson, first sentence. Nazis are bad. Oh man, that's so stressful. Oh, it's so stressful. So I only bring this up because I would like to disambiguate, disambiguify. I'd like to clear up a little something. And I do understand a little bit of this frustration. At the same time, though, I feel like this isn't the first time that I've intended to clear this up. Okay, so it's 2021. The political climate in the United States of America is tense. Still, I live in Arizona, a purple state in this most recent election, but by and large, very red. Very on its face, red state. And that's important because on its face means on bumper stickers and flag poles and hats and t-shirts, red state. And that's fine. I'm doing fine. Who gives a shit? I love it here. I could really, truly give a fuck less. Except I find it so frustrating. The Nazis. Would you know it? Wouldn't you know it? The Nazis are at it again. Who would have guessed? So I don't like this characterization of somebody with the lefty kind of ideals, seeing Nazis everywhere. Okay. This is not genuine. This is bad faith. Okay. Now there is a trope of using the word Nazi, soup Nazi. Oh, you're a grammar Nazi. Nazi. That's not what I'm talking about. That is not at all what I am talking about. Furthermore, I again am not leveling any accusations at anybody in the realm of you are a Nazi. I don't even, ooh, gross. What I am doing is recognizing the reality that there are fuck faces in our midst who call themselves Nazis. They're there. And then I say to people politically opposed to me, I'll pose a question, something like, have you ever wondered why the Nazis agree with you politically? What do you think that says about your political ideals? And I mean, in some words, actually a lot more words usually, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, guys, there are fuckfaces who call themselves Nazis. I'm not calling anyone a fucking Nazi. Those Nazis did not vote for Hillary Clinton. Those Nazis would never vote for Bernie Sanders. Right? Right. The FBI identified white supremacists as the number one domestic terror threat in this country. But if you say the word Nazi, your entire argument is moot. Every point that you have made up to that moment is kaput. It's kiboshed. It's kagone. And it's bullshit. It's a defense mechanism, dude. That's all it is. But I'm just saying, guys, 2016, we all saw that Donald Trump was diametrically opposed to the Republican Party in numerous ways. And it was like either he can't possibly win this nomination because he doesn't represent what the party does, or that party has no soul and is going to sell itself to the highest bidder, and that guy's a fucking Nazi. Okay, that's an accusation. I know he... Let's not talk about that. But boy, do the Nazis like that guy. Just so much. And Tucker Carlson also. This is documented fact, guys. I just don't think that we need to be ignoring the Nazi problem like it's going to go away, because it would have then if it was going to, like maybe in the 40s, but it didn't. And now there's Illinois Nazis, and there's Arizona Nazis, and there's Massachusetts Nazis, and there are Nazis in our midst. I don't vote for the same people as Nazis. Hey guys, on a serious note, I'm going to wrap this up because now we're at the 30-minute mark. Really felt good talking about the wrestling, even though that feels awful to think about. There is a secret wrestling executives meeting, and I'm not using the correct words, but like we're trying to get something started, and that meeting is tomorrow. I haven't confirmed because I've been ghosting the entire wrestling community because I feel like a total asshole, but I'm not ready to do it yet. So anyway, that's going to have to do it for today. As you can tell by the sound of that clock, I need to go urinate. So thank you very much for joining us once again. Get the fuck out of here. You're just in time for another exciting installment of everyone's favorite YouTube sensation, Getting High with the Angry Guy. I've been the Angry Guy, and you've been getting high with me. And then we clickety-click so the stream goes over. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good one. Not yet.